My name is Mark Puhalski. I'm the Director of Facilities with TNDC, and we're currently standing in our Sierra Madre apartment building. TNDC was founded in 1981. So they started purchasing buildings and rehabilitating these buildings to provide affordable homes for people. People in need, people with mental health issues, addiction issues, people who need extra help. So living by that rule of compassion and kindness is what drives me and what drives TNDC in our work. We're mission-based. So this was the building that caught fire. This was the site of one of our worst fires we've had in the history of TNDC, and it's currently being rehabilitated. We're going to be installing the FireAvert devices behind every stove, so we're going to want to see if you had any electrical rough-ins for the stoves. June 19th, 2021, the apartment caught fire on the 4th floor, and we're in the process of rebuilding it from that damage at this point.
5 years ago, someone was cooking, they forgot about it, they were cooking on high too much. When they had the incident, they took a pot of hot grease on fire and threw it in the bathtub, made a trail of fire there. All could have been prevented by just putting this simple device in.
We're bringing companies like FireAvert in to provide us with the technology to prevent that fire from happening ever again. Being in nonprofit housing and dealing with people who are often struggling with mental health issues or addiction issues, we often come across a lot of safety issues. One of those safety issues that we come across are fires. We've had a couple fires, and I started looking for a solution. How can we limit some of these fires that we're having? The type of clientele that we deal with often need extra help and extra hands. So they may forget that they put that stove on and walked out or sat down on the couch to watch their show while the water started boiling, while the oil started heating up, and next thing you know, they're asleep and the place is on fire. And these things have happened. And then the FireAvert device came across my desk, the whole concept of it. Now that makes logical sense. To take the sound of the smoke detector going off and shutting off the source of the fire before it becomes a problem was a no-brainer.
Here we wire this in, we want the ground pin right here on the right-hand side. So we plug the FireAvert in afterwards, it plugs in straight like this. It's not hitting the cabinets on the right or the left, or not going down or up. When it sits like this, as you know, it's off the ground, off the floor there, and the stove just slides right over the top.
It needs to be invisible. When people know it's there, they tend to tamper with things. But they don't know it's there, it just works and saves their life. So it was a no-brainer to go with FireAvert at that time. And that's actually the beautiful thing about the product, is that it's super simple. It's not a complex product. It's just brilliant in its design, and it works. That's why it's so awesome. And as a director of facilities, I look for engineered solutions over behavioral solutions. So a timer is a behavioral solution. If I have to train somebody, well, I train the person today, they may forget tomorrow, or a new person shows up and now I have to train them. You're constantly chasing the dragon's tail, whereas here, the engineered solution works no matter who interfaces with that device. The FireAvert device is an engineered solution. It actually stops the fire from happening, so it takes an action. Our insurance companies sure love it, so we save a lot of money, with insurance reduction, but also disruption of the lives of our tenants is not as disrupted. We'll end up with probably about 5,000 units and 7,000 tenants protected by FireAvert devices today. So the data we're able to get from the FireAvert devices gives us a whole window of what's happening inside the unit from a cooking and oven use perspective, right? It lets me know when there's smoke detectors going off. It lets me know when stove shut-offs going off. It can tell me if I have a tenant who might be in crisis or might be having a problem, and we can pay extra attention to that tenant. We can give them extra help. Before, we were in the dark. So the FireAvert shone a light on just how much risk for fires in these apartment buildings that really exist. If you're interested in preventing fires, that's what a FireAvert device does. A suppression system doesn't prevent the fire, it puts it out. By that time, the damage is done. Not to mention, a lot of the damages we face are from flood damages. The sprinklers tend to put out the fire fairly quickly if you're lucky. The flooding that happens afterwards can take you months and months and extreme costs to fix that part of it. So suppression is great for saving lives, not so great for saving property. Prevention saves both. So why not do it? So that's why we chose FireAvert Pro. I don't want to have to be thankful that nobody got hurt anymore. I want to be thankful that it never happened in the first place. And that's where this technology is really going to come into play. So the FireAvert device has really changed the whole dynamics of how we prevent fires within TNDC. It's been a real game changer.